Rani for KTN News.
All right, now let's move to matters of aviation. Low-cost airline Jambojet has begun implementing its sustainability strategy, which aims to reduce the airline's carbon emissions and fuel usage, which cost the airline over 2.5 billion shillings. According to the airline CEO, Ndegwa Karanja, the move could save the company billions of shillings in fuel, noting that the moment 25% of the airline cost comes from fuel consumption, actually, as we speak. And right now I'm joined by Jimmy Mbogo with more on this particular item. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Well, indeed, a very good afternoon to you too, Noah. Yes, as you rightly say, today we're talking about sustainability within the aviation sector. Now, imagine this, getting into an electric bus from the CBD, coming to the airport, and also getting into a plane that emits low carbon. Now, that is the future of aviation in the country. As you can see behind me, Noah, we're at the center of the terminal. This is Terminal 1D for domestic departures. Now, I will be boarding a flight in the next few minutes, but first we want to understand what Jambojet is doing around making sure that the way they run their business, the way there's a lot of sustainability, because again, this has been quite an interesting issue globally, not just in Kenya. COP27 and just the world moving towards a more eco-friendly way of doing things. Now, to help me understand better what is the cost implication of this, I'm joined by Karanja Ndegwa, who's the CEO of Jambojet. Bwana Karanja, thank you so much for making time to speak to KTN.
Oh, thank you for having me. Right. Thank you for having me.
All right, so first things first, we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about a low carbon emission emitting flight. So help us understand why is this a big deal for Jambojet at the moment?
Thank you. This year we are very fortunate to be part of the Sky Team, the Sustainability Flight Challenge, whereby you bring in a number of sustainability aspects that you have in place, so that in future you can use them on this one flight. And this time there are about 22 airlines participating in this. And this way we are looking at a number of things like low carbon emissions. Then there is also the recycling. Also, like for the low carbon emission, if you look at like Mombasa, our flight burns about 1,950 kilos of A1 fuel. But with innovation, we are able to reduce this because that comes to about 6,000 kilos of carbon emission. With sustainability, we are putting in place different ways of flying that lowers the carbon emission. And today, out of this flight, we believe that we'll be able to save between 300 and 500 kilos of carbon emission. Once we do this, we'll be able to share with the other airlines, because it's a platform whereby we're able to share our innovations with other airlines, and we're able to help each other in moving towards carbon neutral. So that's where we are at. And also, if you look around, the sustainable food production, looking at how can we move to organic foods.
Okay, now you talked about organic foods, and of course, this being a business show, we have to talk about the cost implication. Now, one of the things, even within the local market, when you go to a place that, let's say it's a hotel that has organic food, it tends to be more expensive than any other food. So help us understand how is this sustainability challenge helping you save money, or how does it make business sense? And also we'll talk about the cost of the food on the plane and how organic food is going to maybe reduce or increase the cost of doing business.
Okay. Everything when you start at the beginning, if it is healthier, it's our responsibility is to do business in an economic, environment friendly, and also ways that also is quite friendly to the customer. Organic is quite friendly. It may be slightly expensive today, but with technology, we will continuously improve it. So ours is to continuously see this is where we are, but in another 3, 4, 5 years, by how much will we have reduced this? So, like for organic, we are working with the NAS surveyor, and all this food, if you look at it, the flour, it's organic, and everything that is in place. So we will continuously work towards that and continuously make it, put ways of making it cheaper and available. And we can't do it alone. We have to work with our partners, and definitely it will, I believe it will be cheaper as we move forward. Yeah.
All right. With low carbon emission, then that one would maybe think that maybe that will mean a little less fuel on the air, on the plane. Is that the case? And if so, by what margins is this then reducing the cost of fuel for the airline?
Yeah. If you look at the Sky Team, their projection is to reduce by 2030, is to make sure that the fuel consumption is at about 50% of what we consume today. So we have 7 years to go. And with today, this flight, we will have, last year during the flight challenge, they were able to save about 4% of the carbon, of the fuel consumption. So this year, for us, we are aiming to go for about 7% today. Once we are able to do this, then on this particular flight, as we move forward, is to make sure that we are able to implement what we are learning. Because some of these things, they are not only Jambojet's aspects, but we are taking it also from the Sky Team partners that we are with in this challenge. So ours is to make sure that 7%, if we are able to meet 7%, are we able to continuously this year to reduce our fuel consumption by 7%? And as next year, it will be much more. So it's continuous improvement year in, year out. Yeah. And I believe for us, if we're able to get to that 7%, we'll be happy.
All right, lastly, of course, whenever we talk about aviation, we cannot go without talking about the issue of new routes. Last we spoke, you told me there were some routes that you are pursuing. How far are you with this? And as we wind up, what should Kenyans expect maybe in the next half of the year? Because we're almost at June.
For Jambojet, where we are now is this financial. Last year we met 1 million passengers. This year our aim is 1.2 million passengers. What we are seeing is that we are seeing quite a number of tourists coming to Kenya. So what we have done first is to consolidate our existing routes. We do Malindi 3 times, we are moving to 4 times. We do Mombasa, we are doing Mombasa 7 times. There are days that we are moving to 9 times a day. Diani 3 times a day. So first is to consolidate the existing market, open it up more to Kenyans, but also on the new routes. One of the places that we are looking at is within the region, not yet complete because there are still some things that are not yet in place, but immediately they're in place. Allow me to call you that time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Bonakarani. And of course, Noah, there you have it. The key issue here being the fact that we want to move towards a carbon neutral environment. And of course, we'll be looking at those numbers and what this actually means for the airline in terms of profitability. For now, back to you, Noah.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. It seems Friday we were rhyming colors, blue, but you're doing blue white, I'm doing blue black. That warrants a break right here on Business Today. We return with more. Stay tuned.